Hey guys, thanks for watching. Now let's talk about constraints. It doesn't matter how big or small your project is, you will always deal with constraints. How often did you face a situation when you have a plan something and after CEO or manager want to change it from different points of views? Perhaps it's business need or market need or customer have some changes. Of course you had such situations because changes are inevitable. And here comes the most important question. How are you dealing with changes? Do you evaluate constraints and potential impact of these changes? Let's see what contains this process to better understand how it should be treated. But first of all, let's start with constraints. Here, think about the kinds of constraints you have in your projects, or what kind of potential constraints could be in every project. The main constraints, which always take place in a project, are time, cost, scope. It's called iron triangle or triple constraint. It means that these constraints will always be in your project. Some of the additional constraints that could appear in a project are quality, risk, procurement, resources, communication. These all are constraints in every project. And now think about some questions. You have planned the duration of the project to be 12 months. After 2 months, top management says, Dear team, this project is a strategic one, therefore it should be finalized in 8 months. What will you do next? What is your action plan to finalize this project in 8 months? We will have to think how we can compress our schedule to deliver this project in 8 months, right? We can use fast tracking or crashing. But let's see the whole flow. Theoretically speaking, we can crash our schedule. We have to find more money to use for more resources, right? Meaning now that we already have two types of constraints. Time, because we need to compress our schedule, and cost, because we have to find more funds for additional resources. For example, we don't have a reserve to hire four more people, but could hire only two additional employees. We will have required quality of these activities. Now we have another constraint, quality. If we have to compress our schedule, what kind of additional risk will appear? It's a next constraint that will appear, additional risks. Do we actually have enough people to execute all the required work in time? It's a resource constraint. Probably we could cut something out from the scope. This is yet another constraint that has appeared. If we will cut something out from the scope, what would we do with procurements that have been ordered? You see, everything is connected, absolutely everything. The main idea here of dealing with constraints is to see the whole picture, not only the work with the constraints that were mentioned by the top management, not just to compress the schedule. You have to assess all constraints because it's something that exists in every project. Constraints and changes are inevitable. Therefore, we must work and assess all of them. Okay, guys, now let's talk about monitoring a control process group.